45 plus central universities and more than 8 plus private universities will be taking admissions in their undergraduate program through CUET. Yes, you have heard it right. Central University Entrance Test, previously known as CUCET, that was Central University Common Entrance Test. With this being introduced in an Indian educational system, now the students have to focus more upon the concept and logical based learning. With CUET, now there will be a lesser weightage on the board examination marks. So my dear students, now whatever you study, make sure that you study conceptually. Make sure that you have a question to your teacher, and the question should be why. Why am I learning this? Why should I learn this? What is the concept? What is the reason behind? So you have to make the life of your teacher a little bit more difficult by asking him or her why. So what is the solution of this CUET entrance exams? What is the plan of action now? The plan of action will be very simple, my dear students. As I have said, that make sure that whatever you study with a proper concept. Don't run behind the marks. Run behind the understanding of the concepts and the funda and the logic behind each and everything. Each and everything you're learning, you should have a logic behind it. And you should know that why you're learning it. Because this is going to help you in your CUET exams. So when I say that make sure that the concept will be clear, I'll give an example that what I'm talking about. For example, of say a subject called accountancy. In accounts, each and every topic that you have studied till now, and you will be studying in the future, will have a reason behind it. And you have to make sure that you are well convinced with the reason that why are you studying that topic. So let us understand with an example that what should be the ideal way of learning or understanding accounts. So I'm here to give you a short description and a short example on how to understand accounts conceptually. So let's have a look. So as I was saying that whatever you study, you have to study through concept wise. Let us take an example of two transactions that we have here. One, paid salary paid, or outstanding salary and outstanding salary. So there are two different transactions here, and we have to pass the journal entries for this. Students who are in class 12, I believe you must be aware of how to pass journal entries. And we all know that very simply, if you pass this entry, the journal entry will be salary account debit to cash account for salary paid. Now my dear students, what I am trying to tell you is that I have found that there are a good percentage of students who try to learn the journal entry. They are in a practice of learning journal entries. Now this should not be. When we pass a journal entry and when we are debiting an account and crediting an account, you should have a very clear concept that why a particular account has been debited and why a particular account has been credited. So you have to make sure that you ask this question to your teacher: why salary account debited, why cash account credited? And when you pass the journal entry, you should also be aware that why salary has been debited and cash account has been credited. My dear students, in business, when we keep records, when we maintain accounts, there are basically 5 different categories under which the accounts are maintained, or you can say there are 5 different heads, and that 5 different heads are: number 1, assets, expenses, liability, capital, and revenue. सोचिए अगर आप अकाउंट्स मेंटेन कर रहे हो ना, तो आपको अकाउंट्स मेंटेन करने के लिए यही 5 फैमिलीज, इसी 5 कैटेगरी के अंदर आपको अकाउंट्स मेंटेन करना है। सो इस रूल के अनुसार, एज पर द मॉडर्न रूल, एसेट एंड एक्सपेंसेस इंक्रीज whenever बिजनेस में एसेट और एक्सपेंस बढ़ते हैं, it is plus, so they are debited, and when the liability, capital and revenue increase, that is जब उसमें फर्म की लाइबिलिटीज कैपिटल रेवेन्यू में एडिशन होती है तो उसे हम लोग क्रेडिट करते हैं, करेक्ट। डेबिट एंड क्रेडिट जस्ट सर्व्स as the plus and minus in mathematics. So whenever there is an addition in the assets and expense of a business, firm or organization, though that particular asset and expense are debited, vice versa, when there is a reduction, when it's a deduction in asset and expense of the business firm, they are credited. In case of liability, capital and revenue, whenever there is an addition in liability, capital and revenue of the business, that particular liability, capital, revenue is credited. So add plus is representing the credit and for liability, capital, revenue, and plus is representing, or the debit is representing the plus items of asset and expenses. My dear students, following this concept, the salary of the firm is an expense and there is an addition in it. Cash for an organization is an asset and there is a deduction, that is a subtraction in it. So asset decreases, it will be credited, as we can see, because when the asset increases there is debit. So when there is a decrease in asset it will be credited. And for expense, when there is an addition in the expense of the firm, it will be debit. Coming to this transaction, my dear student, that is outstanding salary. Again, in this case, salary will be treated as an expense again. Outstanding salary means the salary has been accrued, but the payment has not been made yet. This is what we mean by the term salary outstanding. So since we have an item here to debit, because again, if the salary is outstanding, it means that salary as an expense has been accrued. So salary as an expense has been accrued but not been paid. And we all know that expense is not the money that we are actually paying. Expense is the benefit that the business is consuming. So we have already derived a benefit from an employee, correct? For which we have to pay the salary. So salary for us will be expense and it will be debited. But in this case, we have actually paid the salary. So that is why there was a cash being decreased, there was a decrease in the cash. But here we are not paying because salary, the term is saying outstanding. The moment the date of paying salary has been crossed, this salary becomes outstanding salary and it takes a form of a liability. As we all know that a debit will always have its equal credit. So the next account that for which we have to keep the records will be outstanding salary. So my dear students, there will be two accounts for which you have to keep the records. One is salary and the second is outstanding salary. Salary being an expense increases, there is an addition in the expenses, so the salary are debited. And at the same time, since this salary was not paid on time, it has taken a form of a liability, it has become a liability, it is accrued and it is due, the payment has not been made. So the outstanding salary becomes a liability account and there is an addition in the liability, as you can see here. If there is any kind of addition in the liabilities, then it will be credited. So my generally becomes salary account debit or something. So my dear student, you have to know the concept behind of accounts. And if you're class 11, I'm telling you, all those who are in class 12 and all those who will be going in class 11 this year, make sure that you do not play fool around in class 11. Because the class 11 makes the strong foundation of accounts. This will help you not only in class 12 but also it will help you throughout the life till you're studying accounts. With more of this concept and funders, we at Career Launcher are ready to prepare you all not only for the board exam but also for CUET. So what are you waiting for? Join Career Launcher and make your dream come true of joining the top universities and colleges in the country. Take care.